Hello and welcome to another MakeFest preview. So they're the videos that are going out before the main event on the 26th of March. And today I am joined by Naomi from
Hello.
Animal Teach.
Hello.
So Naomi, we've got lots of stuff around here on the desk. What are we doing today?
I'm going to be demonstrating how to set up a stick insect habitat from scratch. And I've brought along lots of different species with me. So I've got Malayan jungle nymphs, Sabbath thorny stick insects, giant thorny stick insects and leaf insects, but the stars of the show are going to be my Maclay spectra. These are the largest ones that I've got, and I'm going to show how to create them a lovely little home from home here in this tank that I've emptied out for them this morning. Beautiful.
So I don't know if the roving camera wants to get in here. So who's this?
So this is, I mean, she doesn't have a name, but let's call her Maisie. So Maisie, the Maclay spectra, she is my large adult female. So she is approximately 18 months old now, and when they hatch they are much smaller and they mimic ants at that point, but now she's older she can really demonstrate how she's lifting that ovipositor or a tail, and she's showing how her body curves similar to what a scorpion would look like. And then her boyfriends are on this one as well. So I've got a male and female over this, males in this one, sorry, which are slightly different in terms of they have wings and can fly.
Oh, okay, interesting. So for anyone at home who doesn't know where to start with creating a habitat, where do we start?
Research the species, so find out where they come from, where do they naturally live, what food do they eat. So the species I've got will all eat bramble, however there are species here that will eat slightly different things. So this species, Maclay's, will eat hawthorn, a little bit of oak, raspberry, and then I've got a species over here that can eat ivy but not exclusively. So researching the animal and their natural history is so important. I'm a big firm believer in natural setups, so you can set up tanks like this with blue roll on the bottom. However, I am very much get all the leaves in there, the leaf litter, the muck, the mud, and to create that habitat for them. So that's what I'll be showing from the bottom of this tank all the way to the top, to the point of putting them animals into their new home.
Amazing. Shall we have a go at creating a habitat?
Definitely all freshly picked this morning.
Beautiful.
So this tank has been emptied this morning, and I've brought one of the large tanks with me because it does show the height that this animal will need when they're older. When they hatch, they literally sit on the end of my finger. They're so small, and they'd be in a small fanarium like this so they don't get lost. However, when they're an adult, this is what you're looking at to house them. So starting from the bottom, I have a sand mix there, and I've got some peat-free compost with me. I always mix my sand and soil together because it creates a really nice humid environment and retains that humidity that they need. So this is just play sand from Argos. So this is what I put in first, and in here there's just 5 jugs of that, and then I'll just pop that in. That'll help retain the humidity, like I say. And then down in my little goodie bag, I'm just going to match up the other part of the substrate. So that's 5 jugs of sand, and it's going to be 5 jugs of soil to do that 50-50 mix.
So it is all just stuff you can acquire locally?
Definitely. I'm a constant customer at B&M's, Home Bargains, the range. So yeah, all stuff you can get on the doorstep. And then a lot of the natural stuff I'll go out and forage myself, looking a bit weird in a field cutting bramble, but
I mean, why not?
The animals love it. So.
And with these species of stick insects you've got here, what's the sort of average life expectancy?
So you're looking at about 18 months to 2 years on average, and what happens is when they hatch they go through different instars or different shedding stages. So they'll go through normally about 5 sheds before they reach adulthood, and at each stage they'll look slightly different from what they did as a nymph going up to an adult. So yeah, these are currently my eldest. My youngest are only, I mean, baby Barry actually. So I've brought some eggs with me. Baby Barry is around in this tank here. So this is one of my budwing stick insects which hatched just last night out of his egg, and then Big Bad Barry or Daddy Barry is over in this tank at the top as well, mimicking a twig.
Amazing. So just get all mucky, just mix it in, and
Yeah, I mean, you can wear gloves if you want to, but I mean, I don't. So I like getting really, really mucky, like you say, get mixed in, and it's the fun part, like obviously watching the animals and handling them and observing them, but building their home from scratch is so rewarding when you put that animal in and you get to see them use it.
Yeah. And I believe it's not just stick insects you have, is it? So you've got like quite a variety of animals. Can you remember them all?
Right, let me think. So I have panther chameleons, Yemen chameleon, Indonesian blue-tongued skink, Brazilian rainbow boa, what's the one? Monty the royal python, I'm going round the zoo at home. Then Preston the leopard gecko. I've acquired green and black dart frogs, harvest mice to throw a mammal in there.
Mix it up.
Yeah, and then lots of invertebrates as well. But my speciality is the weird, wonderful and different, so exotics.
Yeah. Amazing. So now I've met some of your creatures before. So you've got like millipedes, haven't you? And you've
I forgot about them, yeah.
Millipedes, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got your the snails. They were pretty big.
They were giant African land snails, giant African tray millipedes. There's a little theme there, isn't there?
There is, yeah. So where do these animals actually come from? Are they specialists that you know, or do you get them in shops, or?
Either really. So working in the zoo world previously and in the college world, it's really important to network and make really good relationships with people, because with the animal world there'll always be an animal that you're after and someone's got it, and it's always pretty much based on good animal welfare and rehoming for that reason. So a lot of my lovely friends will take animals from me if needed, or I will get from them. Equally, I'm really big on supporting like local pet stores, local shops. So if they have an animal in, I will go to them. And I do have a supplier as well, that is a live food supplier, but equally has livestock. So there's lots of different avenues and routes. Some of my animals though have come from pre-loved, some are rescues.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different ways of sourcing them, and I take advantage of all of it. So yeah,
fair enough.
Which is why I've got so many animals.
So what's next on top of here?
Right, now that is mixed, so I've made sure there's not really like a sandy patch and a soil patch. It's a good 50-50 mix. I have brought in some Orchid Bark, so this is the next layer which will help to retain that humidity in the tank.
Yeah.
It's fantastic for the animal, not so much when they lay the eggs and you've got to go round with a little light and look for them. However, like I say, I'm such a big believer in giving the animal the best of what you'd expect to see out in the wild.
Yeah.
So even though it means extra time egg hunting, it's for the animal. In fact, I'm not going to do it scoop by scoop because I'll be there forever.
Oh, just pour, yeah, go wild.
I am just going to scoop, just going to pour, sorry. That's how to use a bag of Orchid Bark in 5 seconds. And then just like I've done with the other, I've just mixed that along and put that even layer on that base of the tank. Another thing you can do, and I'll probably do it before I do the leaf litter actually, is you can do different heights to the bottom of the tank, so it doesn't always have to be flat. It can have different heights to give that enclosure more depth and shape and size. So if I really wanted, I could push up and do a corner up there, because the stick insects will come down and walk on the forest floor or the plant floor. I could do it on that side. I'm going to create a gap for where the water pot will go in for the bramble, and it just gives them something else to do other than sit on a branch.
Yeah, fair enough, keeps it entertaining.
It does indeed.
Yeah. And where have you sort of come from? Like, what's your history in how you've collected this huge amount of animals?
Right, so growing up, my mum and dad liked animals, not so much me bringing the snails in the house and that sort of thing. So it wasn't until I was 16 and I began working in Runcorn Pet Shop when it was at the top of Regent Street. And that's when I began volunteering, when I was doing my BTEC National Diploma in Animal Management. And then I was like, oh my goodness, this is it, it's animals, I love it. So then it was a degree in zoology. Whilst I was there, I also began volunteering at Knowsley Safari, where I did my final year project. And then 3 days after my final exam, I was there full-time working on the Monday. So yeah, and as you can see, I do enjoy talking a lot about animals. So a job come up to teach in a college and teach students 14 to 16 and 16 plus all about animals, and it was perfect. So up to that point, and even now, it's animal. And then my 2 beautiful children have arrived now, so I've got a gorgeous son and daughter, and decided to turn the world upside down, even more so our lives. And I did, quit last year as a full-time college lecturer and set up this business. And obviously that gives me reasons to get more animals.
Well,
obviously,
yeah. Why not?
Definitely. So it's been a long journey. It's been non-stop since leaving school. I didn't take a gap year. I didn't have any break. It's been every single year there's been something animal related, and this is where it's got me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. You're very busy as well.
Yes. So we officially got our animal activity license, which is a lot of legwork to get to that point. So lots of policy writing, lots of documents, lots of animal welfare legislation to follow. And then the application went in. We were granted that just the week before Christmas, so lovely Christmas present.
Oh yeah.
And then officially started trading at the start of this year. And we're pretty much booked up now until June, July time with some availability. And then, so it's non-stop. And I love it. I take my zoo out on my travels.
Zoo on tour?
Exactly.
So is it leaves now?
Yeah, so these, I always, with leaves, I'll collect them in, give them a wash, and then I let them dry out just in case there is anything on them.
Yeah.
Something you can put on them is something called Safe 4. It's an animal safe disinfectant at a ratio of 1 to 100. So they've been sprayed, rinsed and left.
Okay.
When the bramble, which will go in shortly, has been collected, that will also get washed down, and then any dead bramble in there, I just cut off the ends, and then that becomes my leaf litter for the next change.
Yeah.
So it's reusing what's out there, and obviously not wasting it. So there's a mix in here. There's some oak leaves, which are really nice and crispy. It's like autumn.
Yeah.
And then you might hear me say ow because there is bramble in it, and it's quite thorny. But in here we've got some bramble and eucalyptus, so it's all safe leaf litter for the species that I'm putting in. There's nothing in there that they could eat and then potentially, get a really sore stomach from, or potentially even die from. So I've just bought a collection there, and I'm going to just pour it like I did the other stuff, and that's going to form the next layer off that sort of forest floor for this species.
And these are so autumn leaves.
Yes.
So do you just collect loads in the autumn, or does it change throughout the seasons what you use in there?
A bit of both. So I'll collect more in the autumn, winter time. So going out on my little walk in the rain with my hood up, and collecting out leaves because it gives that lovely autumn colour. It can contrast against the bramble. Yeah. And equally, it gives you enough to collect for the summer. Fresh leaves are still just as good though, and you can still collect them in, put them in a little laundry basket, a couple of quid in B&M's.
B&M's again.
Yeah. And then just air dry them out in there, and then come winter, say you can't get out for whatever reason, or it becomes quite soggy and it's not drying out on time, there's a batch of leaf litter ready to go.
Nice. Easily done.
It is. Oh, tip and go. Up with this, not the animals.
They're still here.
And then, like I say, I'm going to try and not say ow, but there is bramble.
Go for it. We know there's brambles in there.
There is brambles in there. And then I've still got that there. So like I say, it makes it harder to find the eggs, don't get me wrong. And I can show a close-up of the eggs in a moment. But seeing the stick insects on the bottom and doing what they should be doing, it's fantastic. So it's worth it for them.
And what is next then? You've got your leaves in.
I have, just move all my rubbish. So the next is going to be, I'll just put the pot in ready for water, is some branching.
Okay.
The majority of the time, the stick insects do stay on the bramble, but I always try and give really natural branching because it allows the animal to hang off and shed their exoskeleton if they really want to. They do tend to do it on the bramble, but again, it's just giving that best opportunity. So there's different types of branching here, mostly oak, some buddleia, and a little bit of willow. And then I've brought this along as well. So these are generally used for mammals, rabbits, rats, that sort of thing. Just made of willow, but they're bendy and they can act a bit like a ladder for the
So it kind of looks like a sun lounger.
It does, the way I've bent it actually, it does. We could sit on there and relax.
With a book, yep.
So yeah, I won't do it that way actually, I'll do it that way there. So if really want it, could go on there. Another thing it could do is, I don't know if it can be seen there, it can go around the water pot.
Okay.
So, you know, if you didn't want necessarily your water pot on view or a jug or a glass jar, whatever it is, you can hide it.
It's just more natural looking.
Yeah, it just looks like there's bramble coming out the ground. So I'll put the sticks in next, a little bit of bark for the nymphs to hide in if they do hatch out in there. It's a really nice place to catch them. So they will go in the leaf litter, but quite often they'll hide in this bark. This has just come off a silver birch tree. And then you play find the nymph, and they're about this big. So just place that anywhere. And then I'll move this along to bring in the others.
Fabulous. So you've got a design in mind, or do you just sort of go for it where it stays?
I just go for it.
Yeah,
if it falls down, get a little bit of noise, prop it back up. But yeah, just go for it, giving them things to climb up vertically, potentially horizontally when that bramble goes in. I don't always put every stem of bramble in the water. I will put some vertically so they can hang and shed that exoskeleton how they need to. But I don't design all my invert tanks. It is literally sort of throw and go and see if it works.
Amazing. Now, I've got a question personally I'd like to know. So is there a creature in your collection you would that you would love to have in your collection that you haven't got? What's like the big aim?
I mean, a Komodo dragon wouldn't fit in my house, would it?
No.
So I'll be honest, I absolutely adore all of them, but if I could keep more chameleons, there's so many cool features about them, and I have got 3, you know, with plans to breed Cosmo and Peaches. We'll give him many babies, but I would like more going into like carpet chameleons and Jackson's chameleons because I think they're incredible. There's so much work to go in to set them up, but they are so rewarding and just so different and weird and odd, which is what I stand for. So
Exactly.
So more chameleons.
More chameleons, right?
Would be lovely. Komodo dragon if possible. Yeah.
Right, so from one extreme size to another.
Definitely. And if that wasn't available, maybe a giant tortoise.
Okay, no, fair enough, What are we doing now?
So I'm going to get the bramble. I brought me little extendable hands for this.
So there can't be any owls now?
No, and if there is, it's because I'm being a little bit of a wuss. So bramble I'll put in now. I'll just put the water in first because there's nothing worse than putting it all in and you can't get to the water. So the water will allow the bramble to stay fresher for longer. And then I don't have nymphs, so I'm not putting it in now, but if I was to have any hatchlings in there or a really young stick insects to prevent them drowning, I'd put cotton pad or blue roll around the base of the bramble. That stops them getting in and potentially drowning. But because it's just my team of adults, they'll be absolutely fine.
Amazing.
Again,
here we go, here's some bramble.
With me extendable arm. So when I'm out in the field, I tend to cut these to size so I know what size enclosure that they're coming back to, and I'll go for my tallest to my smallest, different heights given them different elements of a canopy essentially, and then I'll just place them in and just see what works again, and if it doesn't, I always have me cutters with me so I can trim if I need to.
They're not all stuck together, there we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just going to pick up the whole thing. They're all going to end up on top of you.
Yeah, probably.
And then plenty of food is important. So this is a food source. It's quite a sweet food source for this animal.
Oh, spiky.
Move that, It's like that. I haven't moved the tweezers or the tongs or moved my finger. There you go, it's looking good. So lots of foods for them. Not so much at this age, but when they're young, oh my goodness, they go through a whole bramble forest in a day. But it's just putting again that opportunity if they really want, you know, they can climb and go to different heights.
Now, if anybody wants to actually see you in person, you're going to be at MakeFest, aren't you?
Definitely. So I'll probably bring some of the species that I've got here, as well as some of the rest of the zoo. So I'm going to bring a mix on the day. It won't just be invertebrates. I'll have some of my snakes and my lizards with me as well.
Okay, so whoever's up for it on the day.
Exactly. So like I say, I've followed so much animal welfare regulations, and I don't like to guarantee an animal on the day, because I might get to that day and they could be shedding or they may require vet treatment. So I wake up on that day and I observe them heavily and I say, right, which ones are going to work, which ones may not work. And it's all about the animal and making sure they feel comfortable and safe, and people can still have a really fantastic, enjoyable time with the animals that I bring along.
Amazing. So still got some more bramble there to pop in.
I've gone a little bit overboard, so I get so excited when I'm out cutting, but I did clean like a little path so people can walk past today.
Well, you know, you're helping people at the same time, so I mean.
Exactly. So all I'm gonna do now is, these ones that I'm putting up here and not staying, they are likely going to go very crispy very soon.
Right.
But that's absolutely fine. They've still got all this fresh stuff that they can eat. And then if that goes crispy, I just do what I said before and I trim it up and do my leaflet a pile.
Nice.
I'll probably go for
a little smaller one.
One more on this side to try and get it propped up. And then that gives me space to show you when our lovely Maisie the McLeays goes in.
Maisie now.
Yeah, I always give them new names. I'm awful. There's so many that they become leafy, thorny, spiky, but they do have names. I think she's actually called a Ivy.
Oh, really?
So we'll soon find out when I check that
Poor
card.
thing, doesn't know what it's called.
No. So that is the tank using all the resources.
Yeah.
So we've got that 50-50 sand soil mix. Then we've got orchid bark, the leaf litter, the branching, and then the bramble. And the last thing to go in now, actually, no, there's two things to go in now, sorry. To keep that humidity up, which I've talked about, spraying the enclosure. So I won't spray over that way, otherwise you'll just see water droplets. But making sure them leaves have got some water on and giving that base a spray as well. This is just tepid warm water that I've put in this morning, so it's not too cold if the animal's in there that they can, you know, get shocked, but enough to create that rise in humidity as well. And if you really want to check, I've brought a hygrometer with me, so that's the temperature that side, but humidity is measured in percentages, and these normally live at about 60% to 70%, so this is a fantastic way of, you can put it at different levels and see, is it that tank now hitting the humidity? And that can be observed over 24 hours. So I'll just pop it here for now, because it'll rest on that branch. Absolutely perfect.
Amazing.
You ready to see them go in?
I am ready to see these go in. Are you ready, Andy, with your roving camera over there?
So in here, I'm going to put the males in first. And I'm going to hope they will demonstrate flying. Not around the studio.
Let's hope not.
Otherwise, what I'm sticking set's catching. But I'm going to aim them into the enclosure. They've got the most beautiful iridescent wings when they show them. So I'm just going to open this lovely transport box.
Oh, I can see one's already raring to get out there.
Can you see them moving? So there are two males in here. Like I said before, they get the wings, so they're so easy to identify male versus female in this species. Some species are a little bit harder. And then I'm just going to make sure that animal feels comfortable enough to walk on my hands, so always acting a bit like a tree or a branch.
Wow.
And there's that male there. I'm just going to face you that way, mister, because otherwise you may fly onto Meg. So potentially fly. If not, they will just walk. Typically out in the wild, they'd fly to find a female, not necessarily to find food. So walking to find food there. And I'm just going to let go now. He'll use his 6 legs to decide where he's going to go. And I can't. Oh, he's gone straight on the leaf.
Oh,
I love it. Having a little dinner.
Nice. Oh,
lovely. Would you like to hold one to put him in?
Sure, why not?
So just like
this is where it flies at me.
I'll be on standby. So like I say, just put your hand in front, allow the animal to walk on you. If you need to move branches and stuff to get on, that's fine. And then face them in the enclosure. Yeah, watch out for brambles.
Hello. Coming over this way. No? You coming? You coming? You're not a big fan? He's running around. Come on then.
So don't be. Oh,
he's gone.
Pick him up from the bottom.
The brambles are everywhere.
I mean, some of these species, as a defence mechanism, do throw themselves on the floor and they flail. They pretend to be a bit of a dead twig, a dead branch. However, he is deciding that he's going the opposite way. So I'm just going to bring that bramble out and then give him more of a reason to come out. So he's climbing up me now.
Oh, he is?
He is showing that,
there's the wings. So at the same time, there's the wings. Oh, amazing.
So I don't know if you want to take it over now, and then he should go on your hand now. He feels a little bit calm. But the wings are there, so you can see.
He's going everywhere but
the tank. He's still showing his wings, but he doesn't need to now. He's in there. So he has gone on to the bottom and feeling quite relaxed there.
Oh,
so
nice.
he's just moving along, just exactly what I said before, going on that leaf litter. You can see that camouflage and stuff there. He is my old man, this one.
Oh,
he's
go on, what's this one's name?
Oak. Yeah. Because that's what they can eat that.
There we go.
So they are the males in. I'll pop that lid on there.
Yeah.
And then the female will go in next. So I'll begin to open up her.
So is it in general the girls are bigger than boys?
Yes.
Yeah. So like quite a lot of animal species then.
Yeah, pretty much. So it allows the male to mate by going onto her back, and then they're small enough to do it. So she is, I mean, she's a similar length. It's just she's very bulky.
Yes.
Compared to the boys. Now, she is a little bit defensive at the minute because she is laying her eggs. So
Fair enough.
She may show us how she would sort of clasp her legs onto us.
Okay.
So I'll bring it out on the branch to start off with, but she's hugging.
Ooh, brambles again.
I know, I'm being brave, I'm not saying how. I'll cry later when I'm pulling out all the thorns. So this is our lovely, lovely female. I've had these since the nymph. They were this big when I got them. So she has been with me for a good long time. She started off as one of our pets, to be honest.
Aww.
And I'm going to allow her to walk my hand, but straight away you can see that her tail is going up. She's just trying to find her way there. Oh, you're being quite nice today. This is where famous last words.
I was going to say. Oh wow, that is a big bulky tail.
So she is putting that tail up there, and she's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So when these are born, they lay their eggs in an ant's nest.
Okay.
And that's,
in the hair.
Yeah, in normal day that, isn't it? In an ant's nest. So when they're born, they actually have like a red head and a black body, and they're only probably the size of her head. And then as they get older and shed, they go to this gorgeous beige colour. The body gets bulky. Hello. And then they begin to mimic more of a scorpion. So you can see that ovipositor going up. That's where she'd lay her eggs.
Amazing.
And if she really wanted it, it'd go up. But she's quite relaxed at the minute.
She seems quite happy, yeah.
Would you like to hold her?
Okay. Come on, let's see if you like me. Not like the fella.
There's that tail's gone up.
Oh.
She's just mimicking there. So she's a little bit slightly unsteady on her feet. Like I say, these are my oldest. So and now she's of egg laying age. You know, there's not many months left on her, bless her.
Oh.
But she is absolutely beautiful.
Where are you going? Hey?
Up to your hair.
You're not getting in my hair. Amazing. I'll see if I can turn around a little bit so you can get a little face action there. Don't you go in my hair. Oh no. Here we are.
There we go, yeah. I'll grab her before she...
before you have to untangle.
Exactly. If you get the tangle teaser. Yeah, so I'll get her there. They've got lovely thorns on the legs. You know, where these come from Australia. And they live in eucalyptus forest, which is another food
that explains
source.
the eucalyptus before then.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, absolutely gorgeous, but lovely animals. I mean, I don't know if there's many people that call these animals gorgeous, but I definitely do. Oh, she's giving a little wave.
Oh, hi, Andy. Hi.
So I'm going to place her back in now. Obviously, she's not going to fly because she doesn't have them wings. Yeah. But she is going. We have this chattel type. You can go off my hands now. This is your tank.
We've made this just for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've known your mum and I know like sitting on my hands, but you've got to go in now. So she's going in and she's going to, again, do what the males did. Find somewhere she feels comfortable. Find somewhere there's a food source. Typically they would come out in an evening time, and that's when they're most active, so crepuscular, nocturnal. But yeah, she's got some fresh food in there, and she's gonna
seems
see
happy
where
enough
she's
waving the little
comfortable.
arms around.
She has indeed. I'll close these so they don't escape and fly
we
back
don't want to
at
fly in
us.
one yet. Amazing.
And that is pretty much how to set up a habitat from scratch for a Macleay's spectra.
Brilliant. And if people want to find out more about Animal Teach, where can they find you?
So I'm on social media. Instagram and Facebook is at Animal Teach Limited on Facebook, and at Animal Teach on Instagram, at Animal Teach on Twitter, which I'm getting used to. And then I do have a website, which I'm just updating at the moment to do profiles of all these wonderful creatures.
Beautiful.
So that is www.animalteach.co.uk. So it's Animal Teach everywhere.
Animal Teach everywhere.
Yeah, look for the chameleon and the colourful Inspire Our Future slogan.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for showing us how to create a habitat
You're very welcome.
And like I said, you will be able to catch Naomi at MakeFest on the 26th of March. Tickets are free. You can find them on our website. You can find them on Eventbrite. Just click the link and get your free ticket. But until then, goodbye.